Hello everyone, I'm Renown Zero, and it appears we have a brand new update regarding the lawsuit with Nintendo against Palworld, and it appears that even more game mechanics are going to be changed within Palworld, and I think it's absolutely disgusting that Nintendo continues to go after their competition because they can't even make a brand new competent Pokemon game. So the competition has to be eliminated because they decide to patent game mechanics in order to, I guess, get rid of any sort of creativity within the gaming industry or in any form or fashion within AA games that may be superior to Pokemon, which in my opinion, I believe Palworld is a superior game to Pokemon in every sense of the word. So this was put out from the official Palworld EN Twitter account. Now let's get into this right here. They say, regarding the lawsuit changes to Palworld in the future, we would like to express our sincere gratitude and appreciation for the continued support of our fans over the past few months. We apologize for not being able to share as much information as we would like, but we trust our fans understand how difficult it is to be fully transparent while litigation is ongoing. Of course, that's typically how litigation goes. You can't really tell the whole story while you're going through litigation because you have to keep most of it hush-hush until the case is actually resolved. So that's understandable. Currently, we remain involved in prolonged legal proceedings regarding alleged patent infringement. We continue to dispute these claims and assert the invalidity of the patents in question. However, we have had to make certain compromises in order to avoid disruptions to the development and distribution of Palworld. Things like changing the fact that when you throw a Pal Spear, your Pal comes out of the Pal Spear, that they had to remove this mechanic, and that's kind of how it goes. On November 30th, 2024, we released patch version 0.3.11 for Palworld. This patch removed the ability to summon pals by throwing Pal Spears, which is something I was basically explaining, and instead changed it to a static summon next to the player. Several other game mechanics were also changed with this patch. As many have speculated, these changes were indeed a result of the ongoing litigation. Everyone here at PocketPair was disappointed that this adjustment had to be made, and we fully understand that many players feel the same frustration, as I'm sure people walked away from the game because, PocketPair and Palworld had to essentially bend the knee, probably temporarily. Hopefully this will get resolved and they can put it back into the game. Unfortunately, as the alternative would have led to an even greater deterioration of the gameplay experience for players, it was determined that this change was necessary. Furthermore, we regret to inform our players that with the implementation of patch 0.5.5, we must make yet another compromise because Nintendo is garbage, and it's really sad to see that Nintendo wants to get rid of their competition rather than creating a better Pokemon game. And of course, with their increased game prices to $80, as more games even come out for $50, like just recently, Mafia: The Old Country was shown off in a new trailer and announced that it will only cost $50. So the rise of $50 games just continues to show that this whole increase to $80 thing that Nintendo and Microsoft are now going to be doing with their first-party games starting in holiday with Microsoft respectively is absolute BS. From this patch onward, gliding will be performed using a glider rather than with pals. Pals in the player's team will still provide passive buffs to gliding, but players will now need to have a glider in their inventory in order to glide, which I don't believe, to my knowledge, that Pokemon has a patent or even has a Pokemon in the game that allows you to glide with said Pokemon. So that's a little weird that this would have to be the case. We understand that this will be disappointing for many, just as it is for us, but we hope our fans understand that these changes are necessary in order to prevent further disruptions in the development of Palworld. We also want to extend our apologies to our fans for the discomfort and concern this ongoing litigation has caused. We remain committed to developing Palworld and delivering exciting new content for our fans. On behalf of everyone at PocketPair and Team Palworld, thank you again for your continued support. Obviously, they didn't seem to be really too affected considering that they had an entire booth at New York Comic Con last year, so I figured, PocketPair and Palworld really weren't having too much trouble with their litigation. But with these changes, like the change to the Pal Sphere, throne and summoning pals, as well as now we have the gliding thing, mechanic having to be changed due to litigation. It's absolutely crazy how Pokemon Company and Nintendo can't just simply, make a good Pokemon game. We've seen Pokemon Legends ZA, and it looks like absolute trash. Some of the game mechanics in it are good, they're better, but they're not great. They're not revolutionary. We're going into a new generation of Nintendo, and yet their graphics for something like that look like absolute trash. When you compare it to Palworld, or when you even compare it to any other Nintendo property from that company, like Metroid Prime 4 and Donkey Kong Bonanza that they're putting out, you can't tell me that the Pokemon Company can't improve their graphical fidelity with their game when you got these other companies that are working on Nintendo products, Nintendo games, that make their games look absolutely amazing, and yet Pokemon continues to lag behind the curve with the rest of the Nintendo games or Nintendo exclusives. And rightfully so, you have people in the comments. You got Grumps here. Tons of games have flying mouses. It's ridiculous. Master of the TDS. Glad we finally got some honesty about what's going on. Yeah, it sucks that gliding with pals is going away, especially since I used Gale Claw as my glider for basically the whole game. But this is what it takes to keep things going. I could live with it. F Nintendo from our good friend of the channel called Classic Cage. You have the usual people that say you'll complain and buy Nintendo's crap anyway, even though for me, in my opinion, the Nintendo Switch is a separate thing from Pokemon, where I'm gonna obviously refuse to buy anything Pokemon related as far as the games go, and I also refuse to buy $80 games. I think the $80 game thing is ridiculous. I don't think games should be $80 ever. I don't think there's really any game that's worth $80 in my opinion. And I'm gonna say this again, like I've been saying on Twitter. Do not let the Nintendrons or Nintendo fanboys tell you that it's only one game that is $80 on Nintendo Switch. 2, because Kirby and the Forgotten Land is an $80 game on Switch. Tears of the Kingdom is an $80 game on Switch with the patch for both of those games, as well as Super Mario Party Jamboree. That's also an $80 game on Switch. So don't sit there and tell me that the games are not going to be $80 on Switch more than just Mario Kart World. I believe Civilization 7 is also a $70 game. If you buy the Nintendo Switch 2 upgrade, it's also an $80 game. So there's multiple $80 games already on the Switch 2. It may not be the upright cost like Mario Kart World is, where the standard version is $80. With the upgrade packs for these other games, the games are $80. Don't let Nintendo fanboys lie to you. Don't let them lie to you that there aren't more than just one $80 game, because there are. So this is absolutely disgusting. I really hope Palworld destroys Nintendo in this lawsuit. I've been saying this forever. I've been keeping you guys updated on every new piece of news that comes out from this lawsuit as it is ongoing. And again, I still think it's absolutely disgusting that Nintendo would even try to patent game mechanics that have been in multiple games, hundreds, maybe even thousands of games for decades. But you also see them going after games like Temtem and things of that nature. So I think it's crazy how they specifically chose Palworld as the target for their litigation for game mechanics. So I just want to, like I said, I want to keep you guys updated on this lawsuit as it is ongoing. Thank you all for checking out this video. I really do appreciate all the new subscribers, returning subscribers, new viewers, and returning viewers. If you did like the video, smash the like button. Comment below if you feel well. Subscribe for more content. Hit the bell for notifications. Set the bell to all. That way you'll get a notification anytime I post a new video or go live on the channel. And I will see you all in the next one. Peace.